this low-key makes me sad because it's like we really had potential with this one, bro. Like, we really had potential with this one. I ain't gonna lie, bro, I broke a fucking sweat there. Golly. But damn, what the fuck happened to Kodak, bro? It's all that glitching for Twitch, man. Oh shit. It's all that glitching for Twitch, man.
Oh!
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the problem is, bro, it's like too many people aren't around to like actually check the guy. And I'm glad that that conversation's kind of been a lot more prevalent lately. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't have Twitter, so I'm not out here tweeting and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying? You could see the guy going through shit, and like everybody's response is to just throw cameras in his face and publicize it. And it's like, I don't know how much was done to help him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, situations like that are so annoying, man. Oh my gosh, well, we could talk about the YB situation. We could talk about the Dirk situation. There's so many issues in our community, dog. And that shit makes me so unhappy because it's like, dog, you see situations of, you see examples of people who work so hard to get out of the situation that they're coming from, and they finally make it. I was just watching a documentary the other day about Young Thug's come up and the shit that he went through to get to where he's at, bro. Bro literally watched his brother get shot in front of him. Do you imagine what that would turn you into? You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you doing you and you go, you know what I'm saying? You watch your older brother get shot, bro. That would turn you into a freaking monster, bro. Not only that, when the cops were called, guess what? They came and they cuffed his mom, bro.
Oh!
That was probably the wrong sound effect, because I'm not even trying to be funny, but it's like, you know, shit like that could have really turned him into a monster. And like, yes, you know, he has his things that he went around and did, but like, it got to a point where he made it. He got out of the streets. You know? Why the fuck would you turn around and go back, bro? Excuse me. Same thing with Dirk, bro. Dirk, we talk about, like, you know, oh my god, there's that whole interview with fucking Wallow and Gilly. They're telling him, they're pleading him, bro, like, don't do this shit, bro. Let that shit go, bro. There's more important things, bro. You're always talking about how your dad wasn't in your life and, you know, what that did for you and how important it is to have a father figure, a male role model in the house. And there you go, getting locked up for God knows how long. And leaving, what is it, 9 children behind, bro? Like, you're preaching all this shit, dog. And you know the fucking trauma and, like, the fucking, what's the word? The faults that are in our community, bro. Let's not spread this shit, bro. Like, it's 2025 and we're still going through this bullshit, bro. Like, how are we the only race that really be going through this type of shit? Baby mama drama, same race type of gang violence, and, you know, all this. Why are we the only ones, bro? Why, like, I know that I'm gonna make this a clip, so I'm trying not to go too deep and say too much, but it's just like, yeah, there's a lot there that's just kind of unfortunate. There's a lot there that's unfortunate. Oh, whoa. Holy shit. Damn. I am actually so glad that you're, like, sharing this with me. That's crazy. So it's like, Damn, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. I bet. Hold on. I have a question though. Hold on. Let me go back there and see where I want to start. Damn. So how's your cousin? Is he out or is he still in? And like, what's the situation with his child? Like, did you step in? Does he have other people stepping in for him? Like, how's the child doing? Because I love the fact that he tried to fucking, you know what I'm saying, do better for his child and shit like that. It just sucks that he's got jumped at a party, bro. Oh, damn. Damn. Now this is the real question. You don't have to answer, but I'm just curious as a person. I'm curious, right? And if you don't know, you don't know. But like, how does that affect him? Like, does he? Because I know there's, again, that's what I was saying earlier. I was talking about this whole baby mama drama and like child or whatever. And it's like, I don't know how tapped in you are with the whole social media thing and like social media and like streamers and shit like that. But DDG is currently going through a whole like child war with his baby moms. And as unfortunate as that situation is, what I love about it is the fact that we see a black father actively fighting for his child. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are notorious for not caring about our children, abandoning children, leaving, whatever the case may be. And it's like, I think that's kind of like, an older generation thing. I don't think that like black males nowadays are as ignorant with their kids, like just leaving or whatever. I think nowadays it's more so like baby mama type shit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of what be going on. So it's like, I think that the fathers nowadays are more present but distant, whereas back in the days they would just not be there at all. You know what I'm saying? And so I love seeing DDG's case where he's actually actively fighting for, you know what I'm saying, his kid. You know what I'm saying? No, that, bro, I love the fact that you're saying that, especially with your perspective, bro. Especially with your perspective. I love the fact that you're saying that. That's exactly the point that I was saying, the ego thing. That's exactly what happened with Dirk, bro. Like, Dirk did everything, bro. He made it out. And it's like, how the fuck do you allow people online who don't even know you to troll you and trick you out of your position, bro? How the fuck does that happen, bro? Like, make that make sense. You're living your perfect life. You got millions. You got your wife or your girl. You got your kids. You got everything you wanted. You got yourself out of the streets. You got your family out of the streets. You've either have generational wealth or you're working towards it. You got all this shit, and then you allow internet trolls to fuck up your motion. It's guys like that like I don't even care for. Like, I'm glad nobody's out here yelling free Dirk, bro. I am glad nobody's out here yelling free Dirk, especially because of the fact that he had this conversation with Wallow and Gilly, the fact that he said it in songs and he said it in interviews, and he's trying to change, and that he, you know, knows what it's like not to grow up with a father, and that he's trying to do better for his kids, and that he has a village of kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. I want to see better examples in our media. And, you know, I love seeing DDG fight for his kid. I love seeing that example of a active black father. It would have been nice if bro tied the knot. That's not up to us, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's another narrative that we're going to continue to push for another decade or so. But, you know what I'm saying? At least he's trying to, you know what I'm saying, be involved with the kid. You know what I'm saying? At least he's trying to be involved with the kid. Yeah. I don't know. It's just so weird, bro. Like, again, going back to the whole, like, streets being romanticized point. literally no other fucking race cares, bro. Or maybe that's just because I live on this side of the earth and like I live in such a tunnel vision view where I only see what's popping in our culture, but it's like I don't see other cultures trying to rep the streets and act street and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? I really don't, bro. This shit is so annoying. And you know what's crazy? Here's another conversation. And this might not apply to you because you're from Bama, so shit might be a little bit different over there. But where I'm from, in Canada, there's not a lot of black culture, or there's not a lot of displays of black culture, you know what I'm saying? And so the problem with that is that the immigrants or the first gen immigrants that like come out here and try to like grow up and know what it is to be black, they don't really know where to look to, you know what I'm saying? And this is a conversation that I had with a mental health professional 2 weeks ago, right? I work for a podcast, I produce a podcast, and we'd be interviewing a bunch of people, and we had a conversation with a mental health specialist, and this was a conversation that they were having, right? So go back to context. We're in Canada, we're in Vancouver, there's not a lot of displays of black culture, what it is to be black, black pride, etc., 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 right? So now bring black people into the mix, right? We don't know what to identify to. So what do? We look online. We see music videos. We see what the TV portrays us to be. We see XYZ. And we believe that that is what it is to be black. So it's like, I don't want to say it the way that it's coming out in my head because it's going to sound harsh. But it's almost as if like the worst... Nah, that's crazy. Nah, I'm not going to say that. I can't say that. The extremes of what are portrayed in the media in terms of black culture and blackness is a lot of times what you'll see people out here identifying with and carrying as their actual identity and personalities. And that is so weird, bro. It's like, again, going back to how they romanticize the streets, you'll see a lot of people acting streets when they don't have that background or they've never experienced that. And it's like, we know that you don't have that background. We know that you've never experienced that. Where is this coming from? Or like, you know, just like accents that people pick up off of, you know, TV, movies, streamers, whatever. You know, just attitudes, you know, the way people do things, the way they carry themselves. Like, there's just a lot of like things that, you know, they just consume and consume and consume because they don't know where else to get it from and what else to identify. And a lot of times they're not even doing it on purpose, bro. You know what I'm saying? I could be guilty of that too, you know? So it's like, it's interesting. It's interesting, but...
Alright, yeah. I'm getting gritty on these niggas. I'm getting gritty on these bitches. Here we go, now they talking again. I'm getting gritty on these niggas. I'm getting gritty on these bitches. Here we go, now they talking again. I'm getting gritty on these niggas. I'm getting gritty on these bitches.